Good morning. Buenos dias and welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Antonio. Our weekly worship is where we connect, share information, and inspiration. My name is Noel, and I've been a member here since 1993 with my husband Jim, and our daughter Olivia, who is visiting today, was raised here. I currently serve on as the Vice President of the board, and I help out with stewardship and issues related to the capital campaign. Our faith is all-inclusive, and all means all, y'all. We strive to enact a universal love that binds us in mutual care and affection, especially in our work for justice for our planet and all its people. Let us bring to mind the many different homelands of our ancestors and be grateful that we can join here in beloved community, owing in part to their journeys. Let us recognize that San Antonio, also called Yanaguana, is the homeland of the Coyote, whose people have lived here for over 8,000 years. Their descendants, knowledge keepers of this area, still struggle for the right to participate in decisions that affect their people, property, and sacred heritage sites. We invite those who are visiting us today to rise so that we may see and greet you. If you're interested in becoming a member of this community, please ask any member or staff. Any of us can help you join the community. We have a membership book for you to sign. We also ask that you make an annual contribution to help fund our ministries. If you are new to us or visiting for the first time today, we welcome you to fill out a yellow visitor's card. We'd like to get to know you and follow up with you. Wherever you are on your life's journey, we hope you will find your place with us. We have reserved the last 2 rows of pews for visitors, latecomers, and those who are mobility challenged. We want to ensure that you can find a place to sit easily. We also call attention to our newly painted parking spaces reserved for visitors in the front. They're located along the iron gate and fencing, and we kindly request that members leave those parking spots open for visitors. Now, I invite you to greet your neighbors and extend a warm welcome to others.
Good morning. I'm Xolani Kacela. Welcome to this Christmas Sunday morning service. My pronouns are he, him, and XK. Our opening words are from our hymnal. It's the UU version of Luke 2, and the words read, "And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph also went up from Galilee unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn. I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we sing our first hymn, number 231, Angels We Have Heard on High. In this final week of Advent, as we anticipate the celebration of the birth of Jesus now near at hand, we light a candle of love with this prayer which recalls the Christian roots of our Unitarian Universalist faith. It is by the Reverend Elizabeth Mount. Spirit of life and love, that which love through all beings, entwining together the whole and holy universe, teach us to give love. Help us to bring our full hearts to community, to find and to give love immeasurable, with a generous spirit and a joyous heart. Help us to be ever blessed with the knowledge that all matter is connected, that we are a part of the whole. Teach us to know that we are never alone, for the whole of creation moves in and through us in every moment of our lives. So may we return this immense love in the compassion, generosity, and justice that we offer to the world, in the true belief that someday this world can become a beloved community that holds us all in care. We light this candle of love. Amen.
We are called as Unitarian Universalists to build the beloved community where all are welcome as blessings. Let us recite our covenant that articulates our promises and binds us together. Please read together. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity and fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia. Su sacramento es la búsqueda de la verdad. Y su horizon es el servicio, convivir en paz, buscar sabiduría y libertad, dar a la humanidad nuestro servicio fraternal, para que todas las almas crezcan en armonía con la divinidad. Así pactamos el uno con el otro. And please join me in reciting your fresh mission and core values in our religious committee. We covenant to embody our core values: prolonged belonging, openness to awe, and committed transformation. And the mission of the First UU is to co-create the beloved community of love and justice within ourselves, among the congregation, and throughout San Antonio.
Mr. Grinch, you really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus, you're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole. You're a vile one, Mr. Grinch. You have termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch. Given the choice between the two of you, I take the seasick crocodile. You're a foul one, Mr. Grinch. You're a nasty, wasty skunk. Your heart is full of unwashed socks. Your soul is full of gunk, Mr. Grinch. The three words that best describe you are as follows, and I quote, stink, stank, skunk. You nauseate me, Mr. Grinch, with a nauseous super nos. You're a crooked, dirty jockey, and you drive a crooked horse, Mr. Grinch. You're a three-decker sauerkraut and toadstool sandwich with arsenic sauce.
Thank you, Chris and Rich. I was watching Home Alone 2, the Christmas version, last night with my wife, and there's a section in the movie where the kid and his mother meet at Rockefeller Plaza after he's been running around New York City, and they both start apologizing to each other. And that song reminds me that I guess all of us have a little Grinch in us. Christmas is a good time to kind of shed that side of ourselves. Well, we have time for lighting candles this morning. I do want to remind you that we'll be back here on Christmas Eve where we do the big candle lighting celebration together. But for this morning, I want to show you something. Dana was lovely enough to bring us some new candlesticks. So we want to do candle lighting a little bit differently. What we're inviting you to do is to take the candle holder and hold it vertically, and then bring the smaller candle that you're going to light horizontally to the light. And that will keep us from dripping wax and also make the process safer, especially for those who are having a hard time lighting it when it's horizontal itself. So again, grab the candle holder and then bring it to the light and light it that way. This is, again, the season of light where we are, want to bring me the book? I'll take it. Inviting you to be the light of Unitarian Universalists in the world and to take the spirit of UU with you wherever you go. That would be the spirit of love, compassion, joy, interdependence, reliance, and justice into the world, and speak it to your neighbors, speak it to your friends, speak it to your family members, whoever you see along your path. Let them know that they too are the light, and we all are the light that lights up the world. I invite you now to come forward to one of the 3 aisles. I think we have 3 aisles, and to participate in this wonderful ritual. From our community book of life, we have a few entries of concern and transitions and joys to share with you. Joy for a second career for Bill Evans as a respiratory therapist. And happy Christmas Eve. Birthday to him. Joy that the government isn't shutting down and children's cancer research is funded. Remembering my Aunt Mary, who passed recently. In joy, I just want to share my joy with everyone that I have been sober for 1 year and am motivated to keep going. And that is from Sky. And the last one is, I'm missing my grandfather this holiday season. I wish Christmas miracles were real, so my mother wouldn't suffer anymore. I invite you to a moment of prayer and meditation. Please find your most comfortable position, relax your shoulders and your body as we join in together. Find your breath and find your center. God of many names and mystery beyond all our naming, this is the season of lights and love and charity because we take our spark of the divine and share it with others in a loving way and as generously as we know how. In this spiritual but not religious tradition and congregation, we honor our Christian heritage today by celebrating Jesus' birthday and ministry to the world. Help us see beyond the act of giving gifts lies a deeper meaning, that every birth is a holy birth. Every child is a holy child. Every life is a holy life. May we be mindful of our call to care for one another throughout our entire lives. May we spread love with one another throughout the year and carry the spirit of tenderness within our hearts along the highways and byways of our lives. For those among us who are less connected to the Christian heritage, we offer this. Celebrating the gift of life is a universal expression. There can never be too much love in the world. May this season find your heart filled with joy, compassion, charity that is turned inward and outward. Spirit of life, grant us the capacity to be with our families in new ways. May we see each other for who we are now, not who we were as kids, siblings, or young parents struggling to find our way. Our hearts break open for all people who are shut in or homebound, those struggling with mental health conditions, persons on the margins of society, and all dealing with mental challenges that make life difficult, those dealing with loneliness and grief. We hold them all in ourselves, in our hearts. We ask this and the prayers of our hearts into the silence. We commend this prayer, this meditation, in the name of all persons present and absent, known and unknown, remembered and forgotten, and all helpers of humankind. Amen, Ashe, and may it be so because we make it so.
Good morning. My name is Tim Versteeg. It is my great pleasure to be the Director of Lifespan Religious Education here at the church. My pronouns are he, him, and it's story time, so I need my friends to join me up front here, and the young or the young at heart, and we have one of my favorite stories today. Come on down. So today we are reading a story called A Coyote Solstice Tale. Now, does anybody know what solstice is? So last night was solstice. What's solstice?
The midpoint between the equinoxes.
The
Midpoint, longest day, longest night.
Yeah, so this was last night, and last night was the longest night of the year. So in a lot of cultures, they celebrate that because it means we're now returning to the light. And in native cultures, a lot of indigenous cultures, there's a character in their mythology called Coyote. And Coyote's a bit of a trickster. He's a bit of a jokester. And lots of cultures have these jokesters. Does anybody know the movie Moana? Do you know who the trickster is in Moana? Maui. I heard it from back there, that's right. Yeah, okay. And there's also a trickster in Norse mythology, and anybody who watches maybe Marvel movies, superhero movies, might know that trickster. Does anybody know who that trickster is? Loki, that's right. And in African culture, there's one called Anansi, and Anansi is a spider. So lots of cultures have these trickster figures, and this is a modern story about Coyote and his friends that we're going to read today, written by a man named Thomas King and illustrated by Gary Clement. The world was a wintry wonder. The snow piled in mounds on the ground, while Coyote was anxiously waiting for all of his friends to come round. "There's nothing like a feast," said Coyote. Then out of the heart of the forest, where the trees blocked the light of the moon, came the cadence of somebody prancing and humming a holiday tune. Who do you think it is? "It's Beaver and Bear," cried Coyote, and he rushed to the door, arms outspread. But there on the porch in the moonlight was a little girl all dressed in red. "Hello," said the girl, "I'm a reindeer." And she pawed at the snow with her toes. She had sticks in her hair and a green teddy bear and a red rubber ball on her nose. "Good grief," said Coyote, quite shaken, for he knew, as everyone knows, that people and creatures stopped talking a couple of eons ago. Said Coyote, "this could get awkward." But there's ever the matter of manners. And tradition, it's always been said, insists that all guests be made welcome, insists that all guests be well fed. "You've arrived just in time," chirped Coyote, "for our feast is about to begin. You're not at all late, let me get you a plate. Are you sure this is the right house you're in?" "I've come to the woods," yawned the reindeer, "to find friendship and goodwill and peace." And she curled up in front of the fire, and she wrapped herself up in a fleece. Then out on the star-brightened meadow, the ice crystals tickling their feet, came Beaver and Bear and Otter and Moose, their bags filled with groceries and treats. "Get in here, Coyote, you gotta see this." "She's probably lost," offered Beaver. "It happens this time of the year. Let's follow her footprints back through the snow to see how she got way out here." So the animals put on their woolies, and Moose set the girl on his back, and they tromped through the dark, frosty evening till they came to the end of her track. "Hey," said Coyote, "what happened to all the trees?" Uh-oh, what happened to the trees? They got cut down. And there on the edge of the clear cut, set alone against the western skies, was an object so bright that it lit up the night and made everyone cover their eyes. All the animals stood there squinting at the sight, full of wonder and fear. It has to be new, stuttered Otter, for it wasn't here this time last year. The little girl straightened her antlers, and she jumped down onto the snow. Oh, that's just the mall, she said, fixing her nose. It's no place that you want to go. A mall, said the animal. What's a mall? So down the steep slope they tobogganed, sliding right through the packed parking lot, then in through the doors onto faux marble floors where the lights were dynamic and hot. The noise was completely unnerving, the music a pain to the ear. All the people were bumping and pushing, attempting to find a cashier. The animals huddled together as rough herds of humans rushed by, their arms filled with brightly wrapped boxes and murderous looks in their eye. So this is what humans do, said Coyote. And before anybody could stop him, Coyote was out on the floor, loading every new thing in his basket as he scampered and skipped through the store. Here's a plasma screen TV for Otter, a digital wristwatch for Bear, 4 volumes of Proust for my good friend the Moose, and for Beaver, a vibrating chair. So up to the checkout he swaggered. Who knew shopping could be such a thrill? Then the saleswoman tallied his presents and cheerfully passed him the bill. You've made some exceptional choices, she said, and excess is truly the key. Will you purchase these items with credit or cash, or buy them on time, interest-free? Purchase, said Coyote. He doesn't know what money is. The stars overhead were resplendent when Coyote slouched out of the mall. I'm sorry you all had to see that, said the girl with the red rubber ball. That's why I pretend I'm a reindeer and put these 2 sticks in my hair. I'd much rather live in a generous world where everyone knows how to share. But my parents are probably worried, so I ought to return straight aways. But perhaps I could visit next season and stay for a couple of days. Sure, said Coyote. Reindeer are always welcome at my place. The world was a wintry wonder, and with the rumors of light in the east, as the animals strolled to Coyotes to continue their seasonal feast. All this walking has made me quite hungry. All that shopping has left me quite numb. I may have to rest, said Coyote, and wait for refreshments to come. So Otter and Moose made corn chowder, and Beaver and Bear baked the bread, while Coyote lay there in his comfortable chair with a pillow tucked under his head. And after the eating and drinking, and all of the stories were told, and most of the mess has been tidy, everyone went out in the cold to sing as the light filled the heavens, to welcome a splendid new day, and offer a prayer for clean water and air. Then they parted and went their own way. And Coyote, well, he sat on the porch in his rocker, and he rocked as he tried to recall if goodwill and peace could be purchased for credit or cash at the mall. Probably, thought Coyote, as he smiled and closed his eyes. That place had everything. And that is the end of our Coyote Solstice tale. And it is time for you folks to join Absidy and Halen and go have some playtime.
reading is based on Matthew chapter 1, verses 18 through 21, and is from the translation called The Voice by Eugene Peterson. So here, finally, is the story of the birth of Jesus the Anointed. It is quite a remarkable story. Mary was engaged to marry Joseph, son of David. They hadn't married. And yet, sometime well before their wedding date, Mary learned that she was pregnant by the Spirit. Joseph, because he was kind and upstanding and honorable, wanted to spare Mary's shame. He did not wish to cause her more embarrassment than necessary. Now, when Joseph had decided to act on his instincts, a messenger of the Lord came to him in a dream. The messenger said, "Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to wed Mary and bring her into your home and family as your wife. She did not sneak off and sleep with someone else. Rather, she conceived the baby through the miraculous working of the Spirit. She will have a son, and you will name him Jesus."
Thanks to our great musicians, the flautist, and to Reverend Dr. Dill, to Tim, and to Polly for being my lay reader worship associate today. Let's show them all some love for this beautiful music and service. Well, today I have a gift for you. The order of service says a sermon, but it's really a homily. So it'll be short. Get you out a little early today. Someone said that no one ever complains about getting out of church early. So we'll see how this goes. Each one of us is someone's child. We all had a mother who brought us into the world. The circumstances differ, but the outcome was the same. The biblical reading from the Gospel of Matthew describes the delicate, divine diligence that brought Jesus into the world. And Matthew takes extra care to say Joseph was kind, upstanding, and honorable. He and Mary were unmarried, so the gospel writer rid the couple of all shame. Many come into the world like Jesus, under hard conditions. If your mother was fortunate, she had personal shepherds by her side, a doctor, a nurse, spouse, partner, or friend to welcome you into the world. Our presence today is a testament to our personal shepherds' diligence, devotion, and determination that we survive childbirth. Many mother-newborn pairs are not fortunate. Birth does not guarantee life. The universe is full of pain, grace, and mercy. Imagine being born on Christmas Day. You have a life of getting half the presents as the other kids. My father and sister, on the other hand, were born on New Year's Eve, so they got a twofer, 2 parties on New Year's Eve for their birthday and for welcoming in the new year. As a child, I left Santa something to warm to drink on the mantle every Christmas Eve. And as I got older, I pivoted to more adult beverages. And the cup was always empty on Christmas morning. But Christmas is not only for kids. The New England Santa Society in Jefferson, New Hampshire, held its annual Santa Camp last August. Attendees learned the roles of Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Closer to home, they held the Santa Con on the Riverwalk last Saturday. And at Santa Con, everyone dresses as Santa. They go on a pub crawl, walk in a parade, and celebrate Christmas. It's preparation for the big night. Santa is the hardest working person during the holidays. According to the spokesperson for the Atlanta Department of Fish and Game, while both male and female reindeer grow their antlers during the summer, male reindeer lose their antlers at the start of winter in early November. Female reindeers keep theirs until spring. So all of Santa's reindeer, from Rudolph to Blitzen, had to be female. She says, "We should have known because only women can drag a big fat man in a red velvet suit all around the world in one night and not get lost." One way to frame Christmas and the birth of Jesus is to acknowledge that every child represents a holy life. Every one of us is holy. Conscientious parents supply tons of love and affection which eliminate any shame. In the run-up to Christmas, we spend our days recreating our childhood feelings. We buy gifts and spend hard-earned money to create those warm fuzzies for others and ourselves on Christmas Day. The actual warmth we seek lives within us. It is the soul's fire that kindles under the mantle of our hearts. It burns throughout the year and is fueled by our daily spiritual practices and gives our lives purpose and meaning. As Christmas nears, we seek belonging. This beloved community welcomes everyone. We're here to grant life for all. Bring your full self to this space. Let us remember those who struggle during the holidays with grief, loneliness, and illness. Reach out and lend a hand as you can. My hunch is kids and adults alike are champing at the bit, eager for Christmas to get here. The man in the red velvet suit can't wait to put his Santa camp knowledge into practice. So don't you forget to leave the hot toddy. Amen. Well, we're going to let you out early, but it is still the time for generosity. You can't clap and be excited about generosity. This is the time for us to give of our gifts, time, talent, and treasure to the church. I invite the ushers to come forward and invite you to give as generously as you can. Mr. Jaime Ramirez. We give thanks for all you do to make this a beloved community, whether it be your time, your talent, or your treasure. And if your presence is all that you can give, please know that that is enough. Thank you. Before we sing our closing hymn, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. For those who won't be joining us on Christmas Eve, if you're traveling or have family coming to you, please show love and generosity and be kind. Our closing hymn is number 245, Joy to the World. I invite you to rise in body and or spirit. Our benediction is from the great mystic Howard Thurman, who writes about the work of Christmas. When the song of angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among the brothers and sisters, to make music in the heart. Have a Merry Christmas. Keep your heads up and your hearts open. You may go in peace. Amen.